Hotel. Hey there, Throp here. I wanted to interrupt just for a minute to tell you about my family's hotel, Travelers Beach Resort. We are a 60-room Jamaican-owned and operated hotel located on the world-famous 7-mile white sand beach of Montego, Jamaica. My father started this property back in '94, and myself and my brothers Winfield and Wingate took over in 2011 after my father retired. Recently, we've made some upgrades to the property, particularly to our rooms. They've been redesigned and reimagined with comfort and style at the forefront. The textures, the light, the layout, each space was designed with intention, balancing modern touches with the familiar spirit of travelers. Our deluxe rooms and suites, which you are seeing on your screen now, have gone through an incredible transformation. We now have 2-bedroom suites available for your accommodations next time you're in the grill. We're especially proud of our gym. It's designed to give you a high-quality workout experience with premium equipment, plenty of space, and an energizing atmosphere. Our lounge has become one of the more popular public spaces, perfect for a family game night or catching the big game. Of course, our restaurant and bar is located right on the beach, so you can enjoy the most beautiful sunsets in the world. We look forward to welcoming you home. For more information, please visit www.tbr.travel.
Welcome home.
I've been with the Pinnacle since inception, since we first opened our doors to the public in 2023. I'm a sales executive for the Pinnacle. So it was not an easy concept to grasp for here. I'm like, in Jamaica, in Montego Bay, how is that going to work? Because it's villas and it's hotel, it's residences and hotel, and then commercial area. That's huge, right? I've seen it elsewhere in bigger markets, in maybe better demographic locations. So in Jamaica, like, how will that work? How can we sell this? How are we going to sell this? You know, a lot of doubts when I just heard about it. But then I'm here, I'm doing it every day, I'm loving it. It's a great product, it's an easy sell. It's something I can do in my sleep. I can talk the Pinnacle in my sleep. I believe in the vision of our directors, and we're all working together as a team to make sure that in 2029, when we open our doors to everybody, all that we've dreamed of and they're working towards will be accomplished. Our directors they're born in China, they're Chinese, but they're Jamaicans. They've been here for an average of 20 years each. This is where they have their businesses, their families. This is where their children go to school. So this is where they want to give back as well. They want to make sure they're helping to build Montego Bay, and I mean Jamaica in general, by offering this kind of space where, as a business owner, you can come and own a part of this. You can have your offering here as well. And we're going to have a great mix. We're not restricting it. We're not limiting. We just want to make sure that anybody that's in this space also believes in our dream, has that vision, wants to have that elevated experience, and wants to offer that elevated service to a potential visitor or guest or client that comes in. We're sitting in our commercial area now, where if you're here on this property, or if you don't live here, you're not visiting, but then you want to come to the supermarket or the pharmacy or the cafe or the clothing store, you can come here. It's commercial, it will be open to the public. The public will have access. Then we have the 4 towers. We have the Swallowtail, which is the residential tower. So if you buy into the Swallowtail, then the expectation is that you're going to live here. And then who wouldn't want to live here, right? So you can actually live at a branded residence, 5-star hotel property, right? Second tower is our Canary Tower. And these units we're selling individually. It's the same 1:4 units as the Swallowtail Tower. Same layout, same design, same look and feel. But in this tower, the expectation is, or what we're saying to you is, if you buy here, you don't have to live here. We'll never allow Airbnb or short-term rentals, but you own your unit, it's titled in your name, and then you have the option to put it back into the residential return program with the hotel. That means if you don't live in Jamaica, and most of our buyers they're Jamaicans or members of the diaspora. We have some international people, but it's a good mix. So it means that if you're not ready to live here, if you don't live here right now, but you still want to have some kind of piece of this pie, you can buy into the Canary. When you're not in your unit, it's with the hotel. The hotel takes care of everything associated with that. It's the guests coming in and out, the marketing, the maintenance, and the average day-to-day of the unit. The third tower, the Hummingbird, we have not yet started to sell, but will basically be the same manner as the Canary. That will be the buying option for persons that want to buy. Our fourth tower, which is going to be the hotel, it's the Mondrian. We're not selling those units at all. The hotel has already taken that. And the hotel group is their core hospitality group. The first two towers are 28 stories, 141 units. The third tower, we've modified a little bit based on our conversations with our core. It's now going to be 25 stories with a little bit under 200 units. And then we're going to have the third tower, which will be 23 stories. Because what we have in mind is we want everybody to also get a view, right? And I'm sure we'll touch on the views in a little bit. So we're speaking with the hotel, we have that in mind, and we're making sure that it works for us as well as for our buyers with all the amenities that you can think of and associate with a 5-star property. So it's the parking garages. So the first parking garage will have 380 car spaces for parking with storage lockers. The second one is 275. And on top of those parking garages, now you have the pool decks and the green area, rec area, where you can come as a resident or as a visitor and just have fun, relax, read a book, go by the bar, take your children. Just a general relaxation area. We're going to have pickleball, tennis court, basketball courts. We'll have 5-star restaurants, cigar bar, wine bar, spa, gym, 24 hours. It never closes. Living starts on the 3rd floor, and then the layout changes as well. From 3 to 18, there are 7 units per floor. You get a combination of 5 2-beds, 1 1-bed, and a 3-bed. Then once you get above that, 19 to 24, you have 2 2-beds, 2 3-beds. They're bigger. And then above that, 25 and 26, 2 sets of 4-bedroom sub-penthouses. Then it goes 27, 28, 5,000 square feet each of a 5-bedroom penthouse. If you buy a penthouse, you automatically get a slip with your purchase. If you buy a sub-pent, you get a slip with your purchase. The others will be open for you to pay to use while you're here. We'll also have a water taxi. We're gonna have a ferry service, So we can pick people up at Freeport and take them here. We can take people from here to strategic locations in and around Montego Bay. So it cuts out all the highway traffic and the downtown traffic if we don't choose to travel by road. You can actually go by sea much faster. I have different clients with different reactions. I have clients that I speak with all the time because they're very hands-on and they want to make sure and they want updates very often, right? And then I have clients that are just ready. I have a lot of clients that especially are in the US. They're Jamaicans, but in the US, and they've worked hard for years. They're ready to come back home and they're like, can you just finish already? This is beautiful. This will actually match the lifestyle that I have now. This, I'll have my walking trail, I'll have my gym. There's a supermarket right there. I want to come home. I am ready for this elevated style of living where I'm from. So they're experiencing it in another country. And they're excited that they can come home, they can retire here just the same and have that same level of experience. A lot of people weren't expecting it. No 2 units have the same price. That's food for thought, right? So we have pricing based on availability right now, because that's where the starting price is based on what's available. And then also based on the size of the unit, the layout, and then the floor that you're on and the view that you get. So for example, we circulate a lot. We do a lot of media and social media posts with our model units. That's a $1,299 lagoon facing unit, right? Right to the right of that is a 3-bed unit that's 1,732 square feet. And then all around you have 4 more 2-beds, 1056, 1323, 1473, different sizes. You get a sea view, you get a sea and mountain view. There are different views and different facts to consider when you're in a unit. So I'm not trying to be roundabout, but that does impact the price, right? So it depends on what you want. But comfortably, we're averaging now, you're looking at close to $500,000 for a 1-bed, over $600,000 for a 2-bed. and then roughly $1 million for a 3-bed. And then before you respond and say, or before our viewers respond and say, that sounds kind of high, we did our market research. It's pretty close to a lot of other offerings locally. And then you still can compare offerings to other offerings. Because you're not just buying a building, you're not just buying a structure. You're buying into a branded residence, into elevated lifestyle, into luxury living. Why not? We're saying if this is the experience that you want, if what we're offering matches your lifestyle now or the one that you're working to have, come in and have a conversation with us. Let's discuss your options. We will be handover ready with the Swallowtail Tower in April of 2027, but construction will be done before that. For Canary, handover ready, and construction due date is 2028. We're ahead of that. The entire development is 2029. So all amenities, the homes along the front, along the sea line, the towers, done for 2029.
Hey everyone, Throp here. I hope you enjoyed that infomercial on the Pinnacle. I know really exciting stuff ahead. If you'd like some more information, please scan the QR code on your screen right now or click the link in the description below, and we'll have a representative from the Pinnacle reach out to you right away. Now back to the stream. Throp here again. As you're probably hearing, Jamaica is on an unprecedented economical tear, and I know many people are interested to learn how they might be able to buy property in Jamaica, move here, or even start a business. Enter Throp-X. This is my annual Jamaica investment conference hosted at Travelers Beach Resort in Negril, Jamaica. If you're even considering moving to or investing in Jamaica, this is the best low-risk opportunity to do your due diligence and network with the very people driving the country forward. This event brings together a group of hand-picked, trusted, top-of-their-field individuals, the best developers, contractors, real estate pros, lenders, and government partners, all under one roof to help you make your move. This is very much an action-focused premium conference experience geared towards empowering you with the tools and team necessary to create your Jamaica dream. We've partnered with the Tax Administration of Jamaica to help you get your TRN and even open a bank account, all conveniently located on conference property. One of the most popular parts of the conference is the real estate tour. It's the best way to understand Jamaica's real estate market, seeing and experiencing properties firsthand so you can compare apples to apples. Another incredibly valuable part of the conference is the people you will meet. Attendees have been some of the most dynamic, inspiring individuals I have met doing incredible things with their lives. As always, this year will be fun, educational, and actionable, giving you the tools, insights, and connections to invest, build, and move.
Welcome to the Oasis.
This is really an investment, I would say, for people who have vision and can really understand what this can potentially turn into. It's not the prettiest site to look at, I think, for most people, but for me, I see tremendous potential and tremendous opportunity for value creation for a lot of people. My name is Winthrop Wellington, and I run this YouTube channel where I help people move to and invest in Jamaica.
This area is where the gym is going to be located, state of the art. This is going to be more casual cafe, more the owners can come and mingle. This is the additional 2 acres for future development. My name is Mara Watson, and I'm a realtor in Jamaica. I have been specializing in a lot of hotel condo conversions. I'm here today at Oasis Resort, and this is one of the properties my clients have purchased to convert into a condo property.
My favorite part about the Oasis is really what it represents. It represents the potential of Negril.
I have seen the real estate market change drastically in Negril. The market has gone up tremendously and the demand is huge. The need for housing has really increased.
Right now, there's 57 rooms here that nobody's living in right now today. The windows are blown out, there's no electricity, there's no water. In 15 months from now, there are going to be 57 refurbished rooms that are going to have owners that will have titles for each and every one of these rooms. That is real value for 57 different people, 57 different families that did not exist before.
Definitely the before. You're seeing it raw and you see the pool green. but that will be beautiful and clean within a year.
Doing real estate projects of this nature is risky. Anything can happen.
We're going to bring this back to life. This was quite the place in its time.
I believe this is a representation of the turnaround or the renaissance of Negril. That's also part of the reason why I myself am getting a unit here as well.
So excited to bring this project to the market, and it's going to be affordable. The units are starting at
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sunday live stream. We got a little bit of a different setup here today. It's going to be a special one. It's going to be a fun one, I think. We always, of course, want to start off our normal Sunday stream here with hearing from you all what city, what state, what country you're chiming in from. I'm going to be going off of my phone today instead of my laptop. And so don't think that I am distracted or not paying attention to the stream. It's really just using it to interact because we got almost basically a full podcast setup that we're doing live. And this is like a setup. This is kind of what I want to turn this into, actually. So we are just doing live streams, but they're podcasts. To me, this is the easiest way and quickest way to put out content. And then also, I think there's just like a much higher level of transparency to conversations of this nature. And we had, and I just wanted to do some few housekeeping before we get into the hellos here. But we're supposed to do the stream on Thursday, but unfortunately we had some technical issues. So if you're not aware, Thursday live streams are dedicated to Throp-X. And we had a really, really awesome guest, super awesome guest that was going to be really talking about, I guess, getting your gun license with, he's affiliated with the FLA. For those that are unaware, the FLA is the Firearm Licensing Authority of Jamaica. And they essentially regulate all, if you're trying to get a licensed firearm, you have to go through this agency. It's a very tedious, stringent process to go through. My dad always told me that of all the government agencies that he worked with through its time, the FLA was like the most professional, the clearest, that sort of thing, going through the process and understanding it. So unfortunately, we didn't have it on Thursday, but they will be coming on, I think, in 2 Sundays from now. We'll kind of do a similar setup that we have right now and having the guests come on. And it's something that I always wanted to talk about, actually, because we have the Negril Tactical Range here in Negril, and it is a firearm range, I guess. I'm not sure the exact term, but you can go there, you can get licensed, you can learn about firearms, even if at the time you're not a licensed firearm holder. You got to go through the process, and it takes some time. They obviously do some background checks on you and everything like that. But I know that's something that people who are considering moving to Jamaica are interested in, and I actually wanted to, at some point, we'll get Christine Green, who is the range instructor there, to come on the stream. All right, let's get through some quick hellos here. And there might be a little bit of a delay because I'm using my phone and on my computer, so just bear with me here. All right, happy Sunday, Sean. I love coaching. Happy Sunday to you. What is going on, Lisa? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you. Ashton Jr., greetings, Throppers. Greetings to you as well. Center, better demographic location. I think you're talking about the commercial. Buffalo Soldier, good afternoon. Nice to have you on as usual. Rick Axel, nice to see you. O'Brien, what's going on? I'm on. Anticipation up. I know my dad will represent reality in Clear Sunday.
Oh boy.
Christopher, Chris Charles, big up, Mr. Tropman Troppers from Strong Island. Strong Island in the building. Hello, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday from Dallas, Texas. Donna Bryce, listening from Ottawa, Canada. Remember, like everyone. Please, Donna, everyone. The like button helps out a ton. Georgina, what's going on? Hello, Throp and viewers watching from dual DMV area. Nice to have you on. Nice to have everybody on. So let's hop right into this topic of discussion. I think why everybody is here. I should just close out the stream. I didn't mean to do that. So today we are talking about logistics, and we're talking about shipping to Jamaica. And it's a subject that I've always talked. We've probably since the beginning of this platform. I started this platform. It's something that we've talked about kind of regularly, even from the first year that I had my Throp-X investment conference. We had shipping as a topic because so many people, as much as I talk about repatriating to Jamaica, moving here, shifting your life from one place in the world to Jamaica, there's a lot of logistics that go with it. And a big part of that is shipping. And we've talked about the different benefits that you have as a Jamaican who's moved abroad and is moving back. And this is a very important part of that process. And of course, you need to go through a reputable shipping company. I think it's also important to kind of understand the cost of doing so, not just the shipping costs, but also the clearing costs that are associated with that. And I do my best, as with any subject that we talk about and any guest that we have on this program, to just empower you with knowledge and information so you're put in the best position possible to be able to further your Jamaica dream, as I always like to say. So in today's discussion, we have a very special guest, no stranger to the podcast, and he is the CEO, chairman, and founder of Dennis Shipping, which is actually the largest shipping company to Jamaica. And he does, and his company does, a lot of great things for Jamaica, not only in terms of the logistics side of things, but also from a charitable side of things. And I am very happy and proud to invite once more onto the podcast on this live stream, Mr. Dennis Hawthorne. Thanks for joining us here today.
Honored to be on your show again, so to speak. And to your listeners and to your viewers, I want to say good afternoon to them also. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate you being here. And we're going to get into it because a lot of things have changed in the last 4 to 6 months, particularly with Hurricane Melissa. There have been a lot of challenges as a country we've been facing. Also, of course, in your line of business, in the shipping and logistics business. And I do want to take a deep dive into that. But I know I gave you a brief introduction now, but I think it's important for people to know there's a little bit about the history of Dennis Shipping and also where you come from, which is here in Westmoreland.
Oh, yes, right. I'm from Grange Hill, Westmoreland, which is about 15 miles from Negril.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks ask me, where's Grange Hill? And I said, in Westmoreland. And they said, they don't know Westmoreland, but yet they know Negril. So I don't understand, because Negril is a part of Westmoreland.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that Negril is, actually the majority of Negril is part of Westmoreland and anything else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my business, I went in the business when I was a photographer, and I went in the business in 1985 when I went to the state. I met a gentleman, a Chinese Jamaican gentleman called Mr. Harris Hushu. Mm-hmm. So he was doing photography and shipping and in construction also. And he happened to like my work, my photography work. And, he asked me if I could come by and help him with the photography. And then we actually venture out in picking up barrels for him and everything like that. So I was there with him for approximately 3 years or so. And then he said, I have to go on my own. So I became an independent guy he sold me a van for $3,500. I can never forget, 1977 Dodge van. And he would deduct the funds from it. So it depends on how many barrels I picked up. He would take a $5 or so from each barrel to repay for the van. And I was happy for that. And it's so ironic, Trop, that we talk about Melissa and that my business started right in Gilbert, about the same time, right after Gilbert, because I made so much money at that particular time in just picking up almost 24 hours. I was out there picking up. A lot of folks are shipping things back to Jamaica. So I was just making a little extra to help to pay my van off.
And this time you're in Brooklyn, you're in New York at this time.
Brooklyn, New York, yes. I was always actually in New York. That's where the shipping started from, so to speak. We had 2 location, which was like a office, so to speak, an office and a warehouse, 700 square feet. And we moved to a little larger location a couple of years after. And then I bought the property on Utica Avenue between Clarendon Road and Beverly Road in 1996.
Hold on one second. So I think we're having a audio challenge. I don't want anybody to miss out on what you're saying. So we're going to take a quick, sorry, everybody. I want to make sure we just check the audio. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back into talking with Dennis. Today, we're visiting the Pinnacle's beautiful 2-bedroom sample apartment located on the 3rd floor of Tower 1, the Swallowtail Tower. This unit is lagoon-facing, offering open water views and a peaceful backdrop that defines the overall atmosphere of this space. This tour will give you a real sense of what to expect from these residents and what living will feel like here. The apartment features a double balcony, ensuite bathrooms, and a thoughtful layout designed for comfort and flow. So come along and join us for this stunning apartment tour. So Kanya, this is a 2-bedroom that we're seeing, the concept 2-bedroom.
Yes, this is our 1299 square feet lagoon facing 2-bed.
Okay, and we are on the 3rd floor?
You're on the 3rd floor, and remember, living starts on the 3rd floor. So this is the lowest possible level to live, lowest view that you'll get. Everything else is elevated, it goes up. So it's 1299 square feet. It's open concept, living, dining, kitchen. 9.5 feet is the distance between the ceiling and the floor. Category 5, hurricane-proof windows and doors. Quartz countertops, recessed lights, central air, and the furniture, of course, is for staging purposes.
Okay, and so everybody will have an opportunity to choose and design, decorate?
It depends.
Okay.
So in the residential tower, this tower, yes.
Okay.
But if you're in the Canary Tower and you're going to want to put your unit back with the hotel, we have a tier, different options that you can choose from.
Okay. So obviously fully customizable, dream furniture, dream table.
Of course, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Beautiful. And now moving into the bedroom. Which bedroom
Primary
is this?
bed.
This is the primary bed.
This is primary bed. So you get this view. It's a rainy day, but still a beautiful view.
Definitely.
From this primary bed, look at the space. It's a king-size bed, night tables. You can recline here, ensuite bathroom with a wet room, right? Because you have your big bath where you can soak, and then there's also a shower.
So that's one thing that I really like about this is that
the space.
The space. I didn't know that's what it's called, the wet room.
I just had a client say to me the other day, that's not really a bathroom, it's a wet room. And I'm like, yeah, it is a wet room. It's a wet room. You close this door and it's a wet room. And
it definitely has that indoor-outdoor feeling.
Yes. And you won't be outside looking in, you won't be able to see, but you can stay inside and look outside. So you can be soaking while taking in that view.
Yeah, nobody can see you.
Yes.
That's good, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I love the layout. I love the tall ceilings as well. I'm a huge fan.
Of high ceilings, yeah.
Definitely.
Very nice.
And you get 2 balconies here.
Yes, so you have one to the left, and then one in front, and then this one. Ooh, you feel that breeze?
Yeah.
This one goes all the way down to the secondary bed.
And I also like the fact that each bedroom has its own bathroom.
And closet.
And closet, right.
Own bathroom and closet, so you can have your own privacy. One thing else that I like about this, about all the units, although it's central air, each unit still has your own control. So you can have the AC out here, the master one is on, and you can adjust it to what you want in your bedroom, on, off, whatever the temperature. You can do that in your bedroom.
Very nice.
Closet space, bathroom. See how the lights came on? See how the lights came on? I didn't touch anything.
I love it. Nice. Very nice. Again, tall ceilings, tall enclosure as well.
A lot of space for showering.
Tons and tons of space. I love the inset as well. anytime I go, it feels like a hotel, you know. And
The finishes? Yes.
The finishes, but anytime I go to a hotel, like the bathroom is so important. And having that, as simple as that is, it is a huge convenience.
It is, absolutely.
Very beautifully designed. And this behind us with the balcony.
This is a balcony with more views.
Very nice.
Grade 12A porcelain tiles, and same, you know, we're consistent with the windows and doors, 9.5 feet, category 5 hurricane proof.
Excellent. And we just went through Melissa, still here, no problem, nothing, no issue at all.
No damages at all.
And I would presume that because the glass is so thick and it is made for that type of impact, that's why it's so quiet in here.
Exactly.
And you don't hear the outside traffic or even the rain that is coming down right now.
You hear nothing from outside.
That's crazy.
There's construction going on right now. You don't hear any construction noises. Once they're closed, that's it. It blocks out all the noise.
That's
amazing.
Talk about peace and quiet.
Peace of mind, serenity, relaxation. Yes.
Oh, this is great. This is great. And how much would a unit like this go for?
This right now is 691,000. This exact unit.
691,000.
Yes.
Man, get it while you can.
Get it while you can.
Get it while you can. Now, this is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Kanya, for taking the time.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the tour of this 3rd floor, 2-bedroom, lagoon-facing apartment at the Pinnacle Swallowtail Tower. If you'd like more information on the Pinnacle, please scan the QR code on the screen or visit the link in the description below. And we are back. Apologies for the technical disruption. Appreciate your patience. Once again, we are here with CEO and founder of Dennis Shipping, and we were just speaking about your hero's journey, so to speak, warrior's journey,
Yes,
so to speak. And you were in Brooklyn in the 80s.
And it was also a sole proprietorship business. So the venture changes, and I realized that the two businesses, you know, was taking up a lot, and both of the business were doing very good. And I decided to change it from Dennis Photography, Dennis Shipping alone, and to focus on the shipping business, because I realized that I'm able to help others. You know, some people want to ship things back home. They don't have the need, they don't have the funds. I could help them out more than being a photographer. So I decided that God led me to this venture, and decided to focus my energy on the shipping business. And that there was Dennis Shipping was born. Actually, it was born in Brooklyn, so to speak. And, you know, Brooklyn is one of the central for the Caribbean folks. You know, you have more Caribbean folks in Brooklyn than anywhere else in almost the world otherwise. Yeah.
And how big of a role did Mr. Hushu play in your career?
Oh, great. He was actually one of the first person who consolidated cargo with me when I started out. And I rented a garage on East 40th Street in Snyder between Church. And he was one of the first person who brought some barrels there to help consolidate to ship a 20-foot container to Jamaica. And I realized, you know, and that's the start of Dennis Shipping. And he was like a mentor. He was like a person that, I remember one of the phrase that he said to me, Dennis, if you have a penny, make it look like a pound. And his humbleness, if you see that man, he would even have a little tear and patch in the bottom. And he was well off. We were really well off. He had a lot of buildings and everything like that. But he taught me some of the fundamentals of giving back, kindness and everything like that. So if I bring a friend around me and we go by the office, you know, he would offer to buy lunch. He would give them things. And I realized it was a little bit different, and so much different from my culture that I grew up in, you know. Even though my mom taught me most of it in the initial stage, he was giving back, even though she didn't have it that much.
No, and the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of time we talk, many times on this platform, we talk about young people and opportunities and giving them opportunities. And one of giving people opportunities. I think an important part of that process is mentorship. And I think that is, I mean, my dad being a mentor to me and Mr. Hushu to you. And it's just like, man, we can't do what we are able to do without having the right leadership and the right examples to follow.
Yes, yes. And sometimes you have to see people like yourself actually coming from where you're coming from to understand it sometimes, because even your dad, even, our business cross line, and we were destined to be together in terms of partnership and everything like that. And I realized that he does the same thing by giving back, NEAT. And when he told me about NEAT, I joined with him. And, this is where it's at this point, we have done so much, and he has done so much. We built about 17 libraries across the countries. I helped to build the library in Granger, one of the first library in over 40 years. And, help a lot of things that we do, just giving back, because this life is not just about us. And I go back to the phrase of what Bob Marley said: if life is for me, if life is mine alone, don't want it, so to speak. So what is the purpose of life? And if you have then not able to give it back, then something is wrong with it, because you can't take it where you're going when you die. So you just have to help others and move and open the door so others can pass through the door just the same.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right with that. And with your business and building it from the 80s, was there like a particular turning point? And like how did you become the big shipper in Jamaica? And did something happen, or was it just every day, every year, so on and so forth?
It was a gradual thing, you see, sometimes you don't set out to be the best in what you want, but you in the best that you can do, not the best in the business, so to speak. And I try my best that I could possibly do. And so funny that there was a lady that I shipped a full 20-foot container back to Jamaica. And that was my first returning resident. And she was not pleased. And she really didn't have a reason why she wasn't pleased, because it got there in time and everything like that. But she said she wasn't pleased. And it was devastating for me, depressed. And to my bishop, and I spoke to him about it. And he said to me, "Dennis, you did your best?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Even wisdom, you're not be able to please best." And that was just an enlightenment for me and a motivation for me, because what happened is now I know that I can go there and just know that I can do my best. And I used to follow up behind customers, calling them and everything. And this is how we build our name from back in the days. People trust me and they could rely on me. I get up early in the morning, like 4 o'clock, because it's hard work that you put in. And I tell the young folks you have to make hay while the sun shines. And that's what I did in the early days. And people look at me, and you also have to deny yourself things that you would love to do, because you have to make a sacrifice in life. It's just like relationship. Everybody has to compromise. So what in life that you're willing to give up for the future in terms of making something of yourself? I give up party. I give up the little things that I love to do. I realize, all the other guys there, they were flamboyant with it out there. I was just humble picking up barrel, and they called me the barrel man at the time, and it was a little bit demeaning at the time. But I didn't care, because I was alone in America. I didn't have no relative, nobody in America. I went to America, slept in a warehouse, and that's how I started. Mr. Hushu was the one who gave me the warehouse to live in. And that's where I lived in and started to picking up barrels and do these things. And, making like moving jobs and other things. So there was a lot of side jobs that I did on the side with the barrel. So there's not just a barrel business that make Dennis Shipping what it is today. It's just the other things that complement it along the way. Even the photography business that complement it and put it together.
What would you say is the biggest sacrifice that you've had to make over the years to get to where you are now in life?
One of the biggest sacrifices that I had to make is when I realized sometimes you will have relatives and they want to piggyback on everything that you're going on. And what I tell people is that if a tree, it cannot branches out unless the root is strong. So you have to strengthen the root of the tree. And my biggest challenge is, like, everybody wanted something from me, wanted that of me to make the sacrifice. And I had to make the sacrifice until later on they themselves reap the fruit of the labor that I put in and the sacrifice that I made. And there was time that I sacrificed my kids and stuff in terms that I could not stay home like a regular father to take care of them. I have to be out there morning, noon, and night doing all those things. But the sacrifice that you make, so it's one or the other. So people sometimes say a father might not be a good, they might be a provider, but there's not a good father or so. Well, sometimes it's hard for you to have one when you didn't have the background, when you didn't have the help. So it's a traditional thing. And I wanted to break the curse of poverty in my family because I grew up poor. When my mother died, somebody said at my mother's funeral that we were dirt poor. Dirt poor was time when we comes in and, we're not unique to it. And coming from the country, we didn't have certain things to our disposal. We didn't have no form of electricity or any of those amenities until I was able to put that in at my mother's house late in life in the 90s. We didn't grow up with that. I didn't grow up with having water at my house. We got to go to pipe. I didn't grow up with no form of electricity, no stove, nothing. Well, if you don't have electricity, you cannot. Not even gas stove.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's the type of poverty. I wanted to break that curse so my kids, them, could benefit more from it. And I'm sure that your father did that also for you guys, and that's what I tried to do.
Do you think your kids understand or appreciate the sacrifice you made for them?
Some of them do understand, but sometimes it's hard. It all depends on the folks that are on the same page. So that's one of the things that, I hope they do later on. And sometimes they don't realize until they get to that position where they themselves have to realize that they have to make some sacrifice.
I mean, I'd say that even with me and my brothers growing up, it was the same thing with our dad. He was, building this business, building travelers. It was 2 weeks New York, 2 weeks Jamaica, trying to build travelers. But my dad, he talked to us like when we were kids, he talked to us like how he talks to us now, like adults.
Yeah.
And he didn't really hold anything back. And when the business was tough, and we couldn't get Christmas gifts, he was like, no Christmas gifts. Like, and it was like sad. It was and we're like, this is crazy. But like looking back, it was a good lesson as a kid, right?
Correct.
And it was also, I think we understood that he was doing this for us. And I think that almost gave us a motivation to do our jobs as his sons, to be focused on school, not get in trouble, play our sports. And then when our time would come, we'd be ready to take over the business.
Yes, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. I have to applaud him. I looked up to him every day. He's one of my mentors now, that we can talk about things, so it's what it says. And as I said before, in one of the things, I would call him at nights and we talked about, discuss things, and realized 99% of the time, we both think alike, in terms of what the answer that he gave me was the same answer, but he just confirmed for me. So he encouraged me to go forward because he had made it and he had passed through all of those experience, all of those. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And some people, they don't understand what you have to go through as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and they just look at the glory of, like, say, Travelers Beach Resort or Dennis Shipping, and they just think that could happen overnight. But like the blood, sweat, tears, and the sacrifices that you have made to do what you've done with, like you said, your immediate family, your kids, and all of it is like, it's these really tough choices that you have to make in order to get anywhere in life. And I think a lot of people don't really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's true, Rob. There's so much sacrifice, and it would need another show to even talk about the sacrifice that we have gone through. But you also have to believe in God, and that there's a Father that you're going to get the reward, and not looking for the reward, but just do the good that you can, and the reward will come afterward. Even if it doesn't come from the person that you do it for, indirectly it will come from someone else. And sometimes, I always say, sometimes there were times in the business that I don't know where the next money is coming from to pay the rent or so. And it's the last money that I have, and I have to pay the one or two staff that I had at the time. And, I pray to God, and then somebody just comes in and said, Dennis, here is $5,000 on the job. I trust you, take it. And that's why you roll the money over. But you have to make sure that you can manage money and don't let money manage you, and realize that the money that is given to you is not necessarily yours, but it's almost like a loan, even though it's going into the business. So you have to be able to budget. And that's what I did in the initial stage. And the funny thing, Trop, that when I was growing up, not having it, I used to sell oranges and little things and do little things, help my mother clean the place, do little things just to get some funds. And I didn't realize that that was building my entrepreneurship in terms of that, because it helps me to manage money. So then I will buy like a dozen or 2 dozen oranges. And when I sell those oranges, the money that I make, I could have been say, look, no, I have to take out some of it to make sure that I buy back some more, and then I can use the profit to do something else. But I have to make sure that it turns over. And that's the same method that I use in my business. I make sure that when money comes in, it goes to use, and don't just say I'm gonna buy jewelry or nice clothes or this with it. It's not really mine. And I pumped it back in the business. And what I talked about, Mr. Usha said, if you have a penny, make it look like a pound. And that was my idea. When I looked at it afterward, I didn't realize at first, but what it does is it's just if you have an old uniform, you washed it in the week and press it and make it look new. And the presentation, just like how you present your studio here now, the presentation impress people, because what I realize is that people wants to support people that looks like they're making it. Not necessarily they wants to help them to get there, but it looks like you're almost there. I can give you an instant. I remember going to this gentleman to get a deposit on it, and I drove my van, and it was an old van because a pickup van. That's all I have. And he said that I would have to do the job first before he can give me a deposit. Because he didn't trust me,
Right.
because of what I drive,
Right.
And just to change it, I remember in Long Island, I had this gentleman now, and I drove up my Mercedes, like E300 in the 90s that I got it. And I went to his house, and right away he wrote the check for X amount of money. I can't even say this on the air because
Wow.
yes, right away, because of what I drove. So I realized, and people talk about black people and so sure, but when a black person look at a black person, they don't think of them as anything. It's what they really have and show. And I know this show is not so much about this, but it's a combination of both. So I want to kill two birds. I remember I was doing a wedding, and I was driving the van to go to the wedding. I drove the van to the wedding to take the photograph, because I have to start from the house with the bride. And the limousine didn't show up to take the bridesmaids. And would you believe me, the bride to be asked me, Dennis, do you drive? I said, yes. I was happy. Can you take the bridesmaid with you? He said, yes, because what I did, I put another seat in the back of the cargo van, because it was a mixed van. It's not necessarily a cargo van that enclosed. It was one of those vans with the glass, because I use it to take people to the airport. And when she came out and saw it, he said, that you drive? I can't believe it.
Oh my God.
That was a reality check for me. Oh my God. I'm so proud of my van,
Right.
I'm gonna roll the wheels, shine it down.
Yeah.
And it has some dent in it, but to me, it was one of the best things for me. And I said, shucks. And that's when I said to me sometimes, not even how good I can do my job, because I was a very good photographer at the time. But somewhat is what is around me, the things that I drive, everything. People look at all of these things, how successful you are. But why they might look at other people, and it doesn't matter what they have, they will support them because they're thinking in their mind, because it's a mental thing that they're successful, and they're not. Because, you and I, we got treated somewhat by our own folks sometimes because of the color of our skin, and they will treat the same person, which is have less funds, less education than you, less almost everything. And, they don't realize that,
Yeah.
so this taught me a lot, is what it, so I decided that I want to show folks that young people can do just as good as anybody else in a professional manner and a classy way. And this is how I get uniform for my staff. I build my design in my office, as there you can see, probably you don't have one of my office thing to show you, set it up in a different way. And that's where, if you have a penny, make it look like a pound. So not that I didn't have it, but I spend it for presentation in the initial stage. And it pays off because a lot of folks gravitate to me because they know that I was real. They know that I was honest, and I'm more likely will give back. So I won't take their money from them in terms of that. Yes.
I remember like years, this was probably 10 plus years ago, a piece of advice that you had given me. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but you were just like, successful people want to be around successful people.
Correct.
And I guess it goes back to that, and you learn off of each other, and you want to be, I think everybody, I don't care what class or where you are in life,
Correct.
You want to be affiliated with success.
Yeah. If you're the most successful person in that group, you need to add some more to the group. It's all like that. And this is one of the reasons why most of my friends are older folks, and I don't keep them because they're older. I keep them because I can gain experience from them, and the wisdom that they have, I also pass it down to others and young folk, because I do have younger friends too. So, you have to have a balance in life, but the older folks, they have a lot to share. And, I think the young folks, them should talk to them, because at the age that I reach right now, I'm talking to your dad, but he's holding out on me about things that will occur in your body when you reach a certain age.
We'll save that conversation for off air. You guys can have that.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that, the older folks have so much wisdom to share with the younger folks, and that's what you should do. And I tell young folks that you have to make some real hard sacrifice in the initial stage while you're young. And when you're older, that's when you really, really get to enjoy life, to sport, to relax. Because can you imagine you're old and you're poor, you don't have anything, you can't go on vacation, and you really, really, that's when life really matters so much, is when you're older. And this is why they said life is wasted on the youth somewhat, and I look to all of these things, but you have to have a balance.
Yeah, what did my dad say? Something like that, like that energy is wasted on the youth, or something like that.
Yeah. I don't remember the correct phrase.
Yeah, my dad.
I used to hear older folks. Well, the funny thing, we could learn so much from older folk, but back in the days, they speak in parable, and we could not interpret it. Is when we get older and reach that age, we say, wow, that's what my mother was talking about. That's what my grandmother was trying to say to me, but they did not know how to articulate it to you for you to really understand it from then. If I had someone like that back in the days, there's so much things that I would have changed, in eating and doing things, and, just like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like you said, you got just live and you learn at the end of the day.
Yes.
And so bringing it back to the conversation, topic at hand, I should say, I want to take it back to, I guess before Melissa, right? With Dennis Shipping. And I know I would even go further back. I mean, even go to the pandemic, how important your company was during that time, because there was nothing, no planes, no nothing coming in and out of Jamaica, and supplies, people were sending supplies, everything was coming through Dennis Shipping. And I know that was also a pretty, I would say, once in a lifetime experience that you guys have had.
Yes. You can really say that again.
Yeah.
And, first, I have to give credit to my dedicated, hard-working staff. I could not have done this without them. And actually, I can't even take any of the credit right now, because I'm not working in Dennis Shipping. If they need a little advice, they will call me. So that's where I'm at. So I don't really work in Dennis Shipping. And we have my new manager, general manager, which is Shane Whittingham, that is doing a fantastic job. He's learned the business. He's been with us for over 16 years now. And, he's making a lot of changes that should have been made from before, and he's getting a gasp of everything like that. So I have to really, really give them the credit. And during the pandemic, we shipped a lot of stuff, containers, and O'Shane and the ministers, along with different folks from the consul generals in New York and Washington and Florida. They worked together to ship trailer load of hospital stuff, masks, sterile stuff for the hospital, a whole lot. We did a lot, quite a few containers that we shipped basically free to give back to Jamaica during that period of time. You know, it's a lot of money, and O'Shane, I have to give them the credit because, you know, they are the one who work and put all of those things together to get it down to Jamaica. You know, and I have to say they were very thankful. The government of Jamaica was very thankful for it, and you know, they showed their appreciation and everything like that. So there's no complaint about, and it's not like we're looking for appreciation. You know, it's just that so long as we're able to give back, we're not just in the business to make money. We're in the business. This business was given to me by God, and He gives it to me that I could help to share it around. And it's just like we give scholarship to the University of the West Indies every year for the past 20 odd years. And one at a time, it was in the paper that I said that when God have blessed you, you have to share that blessing. You cannot really just keep that blessing. And coming from nothing and get what I'm where I'm at presently, and able to do that because I did not get the opportunity to do so myself when I was growing up. I wish I had that opportunity. But there's no regrets because of where I'm at, you know. So I look back at it and I just smile and I just help who I can help. I'm not going to be able to help everyone, but you know, the need, whenever the needs are there and we're able to do so, we jump in and do our part. Not just about shipping.
Yeah, and my dad has instilled the same in me and my brothers, and he always has said, "Travelers is a tool to help others." At the end of the day, travelers is a tool to help others.
Yes. You know, the funny thing that you said about that, you know, he said to me, I just saw him this morning, and he said to me that he was talking to Wingate about the same thing, about giving back. You know, it's not everything that we can collect for. It's not everything that we're going to charge someone for. And there's a lot of freeness that we have done. And people come back later on and say, boy, Dennis, you did this for us or for whatever organization, because we help a lot of the NGOs, like shipping a lot of things. And going forward, I have to say the American Friends of Jamaica, the AFUI Foundation, even Jamaica Team Pinnacle, all of these organizations, Dennis Shipping was a vital part in help partner with them. And I have to applaud them for what they are doing. And just in, you know, if I could fast forward it to Melissa that took place, I didn't really understand the impact that it had until I got down to St. Elizabeth from Kingston. And this was my first experience of any hurricane. I've been away at different places, even the one that got it to New York. I was in Florida. What got in Florida, I was in Jamaica. So vice versa. So this was actually my first experience with a hurricane. And it was one of the most devastating hurricane probably in our history. The only one that probably that anyone in my age group could compare it to was Gilbert, you know, and some people are saying that it's far worse than Gilbert based on what we saw in terms of that, and the impact that it has on the people in the western parishes. It has been really, 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 really bad. So even coming down here, driving down here and looking at the place to see the transformation from where it was when I was coming down here right after Melissa. Oh my gosh. And I'm just, you know, it was taking a break. And you know what that I looked at too? Holland bamboo.
Yeah.
This growing back and the trees are coming back. And I just said to myself, wow, this is so resilient. And it's just like the people of Jamaica. We're so resilient no matter what they put. And I would tell you what, I was born in Jamaica. Well, I can't even say that. I'm a US citizen still, so I can't say that. But there's no place that I would rather born than in Jamaica. Jamaica is my place, my home in everywhere. America, I love America. Just in case, my friend Ambassador for the US farm ambassador, you listen to this.
Mhm.
I am not saying that I don't love America, so I don't want you to take away my passport, my passport. You know, he knows a joke. It's a joke. But just in case he's listening and just in case he hears this afterward, you know, it has done a wonderful thing to me. And, you know, America helped to enhance the ability, but Jamaica set the foundation for me because I own my business here at 19 years old, the photography business in Jamaica. So I was not just a business person because I went to the US. I was a business person from Jamaica. So that was instilled for me from Jamaica. And I can't but help it and support Jamaica. And I'm one proud Jamaican and wherever I go. I wear the shirts. I go to all the Olympic Games and World Championship with all the team to support Jamaica football. You know, I just go there to support the Jamaica because the pride that is with us. And we're a very unique country. I was in Grenada at Carifta the other day, and some people were talking about Jamaicans and everything there. And I was just letting them know that how unique we are. We are the only country in the world that does not have a red, white, or blue color in our flags. And that says a lot. You know, and so that makes me so proud. And, you know, the performance of the athletes, them, it shows how unique and how good we are, you know, how strong we are, you know. So it's been really good to be a Jamaican.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yes.
And bringing it back to the Melissa and your experience there, can you give us an idea of what the experience was like in New York in terms of people shipping things down? Because I could tell you, you know, I went through it here personally, being here, and what do I say? The care and the concern that people had was immense, you know, and it was unbelievable, overwhelming, it's incredible, incredible. And then I saw a couple of videos of your business on Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, and the amount of donations that were coming in was crazy. So I would love to hear from your perspective what that was like for you and for your team.
Yeah, I was not there in person, but I was on the phone and video call and everything like that. But I can still I can still give you all the details of it, because what happened is people saw a lot of stuff on the sidewalk, and they were thinking that we are the one who actually picked up most of those stuff. People were coming from all part of the US, bringing stuff. They didn't bother to call us because they know that if they get it to Dennis Shipping, it's going to go to Jamaica and it's going to go. But we're a reputable company, so to speak. So everybody was reading, all the organizations, everybody was bringing stuff. We did not have control over it. It was basically out of control, because we never expect anything like that. We never really prepare for that. It was a lesson, and I think everybody, even the government of Jamaica, nobody was prepared for what happened with what Melissa caused. But the response that people give, like, let me just say this to you. I have barrels right now that I had just cleared that came in, that a friend of mine from Guyana, she has a business company, financial company, Odetta King. I have to give her credit for that. He ordered folks to come to her office, and she got quite a few barrels, and they brought everything you can possibly think of, non-perishable goods, and brought it to her office, and she gets someone to take it to her office and ship it off. I don't even clear it now because of the backlog. We just have it. We haven't even distribute some of those stuff as yet.
So when was that? Can you give us a timeline on that?
Actually, that was in December, and it's just clear recently. And I also, not to fast forward, is that we still have containers at the Montego Bay port that's been there from December that has not been stripped. And it's no fault of Dennis Shipping, because we don't have a warehouse, and it has to go to some, I wouldn't say government warehouse, but warehouse that is ordered by the government, because they have to do scanning. They have to have the Jamaica Customs there to inspect the stuff and stuff. And what happened is now, Montego Bay warehouse was also damaged during Melissa. So it creates a delay. So all the cargo that came in, and you know, October was Melissa. It was just right about the time. Like November was one of our busiest months for Christmas, usually. So it's a combination of both of them put together. And let me tell you this, man, it was chaotic. And I have to compliment my staff, them in the US, especially in the US, not Jamaica, yes, but in New York, 24 hours they had to work because people come and just leave things on the sidewalk all the way down. And if you saw the videos, all the way stretching all the way down, people leave things and they could not go home and leave those things on the sidewalk. So they had to work 24 hours basically to clear up some of the things them to get them into the container tirelessly. So let me just say this to you, boy. I have to commend the workers for their hard work and dedication. We cannot pay them enough, you know, but they made the sacrifice because of the energy was there, how people react towards giving back, and they also want to do their part as a shipper to ship them back to Jamaica. You know? Yeah.
And I was seeing it was like everywhere. Did you get in trouble for any of that, like from the local authorities?
To tell
because it looked crazy, it looked illegal, put it that way, because it was so much.
Yeah, well, tell you the truth, not so much. I think, or even the local police, NYPD, they understand what was going on.
Yeah,
actually, they ship some things to us. The NYPD, Caribbean American, ship a lot of stuff to Jamaica to help with the cause. So it's not just Jamaican. The police, everybody put together. So they give us a little leeway because of the circumstances. And this is what I said in Jamaica. Because Melissa create a crisis, we can't go by protocol anymore to do the things that you normally would have done. I think, you know, you're going to ask me what they can do in terms of that. I think, well, everybody was caught off guard. But I think what they should have done now is add some extra warehouses to accommodate the workload, and especially in the western part of Jamaica, because there's only 2 small warehouses in Jamaica, you know, Seaboard Marine and the one that they have in Montego Bay. They don't have no other warehouses.
And can you explain the role of the warehouse and what in this process?
Okay, the warehouses is like when we ship the containers, it reaches the port, it comes off the ship in Montego Bay, right? And it stays at the docking area before it can be taken individually to the warehouse to be stripped. Stripping is called, take them out of the container, scan them to make sure that there's no illegal drugs that are—
This is the items that are in the container.
Yes, the items, like for example, barrels, whatever contents, boxes, crates, whatever it is that they ship, they have to go through that process. And there's a government customs that are there that after they come to pick up their items, they will check it to look to see what they have in there and charge them based on it. But the average barrel will cost $1,600 or $1,600, I think it is. That would cost them regularly if it's just basic foodstuff and clothing. And to go back to say what causes some of the backlog in Jamaica is that everybody in the US and other places wanted to help Jamaica. And helping Jamaica, they just felt that if they just send it down to Jamaica, whatever it is, they will just get them. Somebody will just give it to them. Some people don't even know the process, but they said they're shipping it to this church or this organization. The church didn't even know about it.
And it happened to me too, multiple times. People would ship me things and like, "Oh, we have a container, a barrel here for you." I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" Well, sorry to make it about me in this second, but it's just like people want to help, and I get that. But man, it's so important to understand the protocol, because that messes up everything. Could get me in trouble at the same time.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yep. No, man. It's good that you're sharing the experience, and it's good that you have similar experience at what I'm talking about, just to verify what I'm talking about. So what happened now, a lot of the things were in the warehouse. The folks that were supposed to pick it up didn't even have the money to go and pick it up, because they're thinking that they didn't have to pay any money to pick up the items that were there. But then the government offer duty-free, which is a good gesture, very good gesture. But the other thing is there are miscellaneous charges that occur during the port, like wharfage and handling and all of those little miscellaneous charges and certain taxes that it's still there that they would have to pay. So sometimes when they hear how much they have to pay, they rather leave it, because most of these people lost a lot of things already. And they don't want to spend no money. They don't have to spend. They have to spend and the immediate thing that they need, like the food that they need to get right there and then, like the clothing, like water, stuff like that. So they had no need to go for it. So they left it in the warehouse and the place backed up. So it creates a domino effect right throughout, where everything, businesses that ship things within that period of time, small business too, could not operate because their things were stuck at the port in the containers. So it was just crazy. It was just chaotic.
So what could have been done about that part, though? You know, you have a family that's, say, in St. Elizabeth or Black River, and that has lost everything, but you've had some kind folks from America, New York, wherever, who have shipped things down that they need, but they go, like you said, they hear duty free. They go to pick up the items and not realizing that it's going to cost them X amount of money that they just don't have, because they literally lost everything.
Everything.
So then, so how do we mitigate against that in the future? Like if something like what could have been done differently?
What could have been done differently, you know, is educating the people that are sending the item to find out if these people are capable of paying for it, or if they can actually pay it for door to door, because we also have a service that calls door to door. What they could have done is said, ship it directly to this person, and we would have cleared it, pay whatever fee that is needed, and take it directly to that person's house. That's the only way that they could have sent it. You know, find out how much it is altogether that it's going to cost to clear it to deliver to that person, where that person would not have to pay anything in Jamaica or receiving the goods.
And it comes literally to their doorstep.
To their house, to the address that is given to us. Because we do that otherwise. We have about 30% of the folks that still do door to door, but it's a little more expensive than they go in themselves to pick it up, because we have to use trucks, we have to use folks, and there we occur some expense on our way, so we have to pass it on to them.
So would you have been able to handle that volume if more people did that, instead of having them come down to try to clear it themselves and then they don't have the money?
I'm not lying to you. There's no way we could have handled the volume that was there. Nobody could handle that. Not even the government of Jamaica could handle that volume that came in after. Nobody expect that. The volume that came in, and there's no one shipper or 10 shippers that could really handle the volume that was there. And I'm almost sure that almost every shipper had problem in not able to pick up or deliver the things that was coming to them at that time. It was just chaotic. It wasn't put together. I don't know how would we organize it, but I think we would have to send out a notice, like the Consul General of Jamaica, the diaspora leaders, calling out to the folks them how they need to do it, how they have to pay for it up front and stuff like that, to send it there if needed to. You know, whatever we could do, we did a lot in terms of that, you know. And as we said, we work a lot along with a lot of NGO to ship some of the things, some of them discounted, some of them free of cost, wherever it is that it was going. And so we had the bulk of things. But you know, the thing is, Trop, we have our own Melissa after everything. And it's now we're actually feeling our Melissa, because what happened is now our containers came in to the port, and because the containers, they didn't have the space to accommodate the workload. They're charging us $120 per day for each container. We paid during the Christmas season $20-something million for just storage charge, which is ridiculous, which is, I don't know what to call it. To tell you the truth, when I heard how much my office paid, but just demurrage charge, which we don't have control over, because it's not like, say, we were supposed to do this and we didn't do that. You get me? So it's like we just have to put our hands up in the air and say, take it, in the sense. And I had to decide that I'm not going to do it. They wanted us to pass the charge on to the customer. I'd rather go out of business than passes those charge to the customer. Because even if I have to select one container with about 80 persons in it, and the amount for one container to distribute that among them would be too much for anybody. And with all of what everybody is going through, there's no possible way that I could do that. We're working along with them. The government have given us some allowances on terms of that part of it. I had a meeting with them Friday again, because right now there's demurrage charge that I owe up to $75,000 US. And you know, it's like just throwing the money away. And that could have helped a lot of folks in the Western parishes. That could build a couple homes for them, you know, because we don't even know what we're paying that $75,000 US for a demurrage charge for.
Can you explain what demurrage charge is?
All right, demurrage charge is because the container is kept over a certain period of time at the era, and it's not unstuffed. It's not taken to the warehouse to be stripped and empty back to go back to the steamship line. So what they should do, it's almost like a storage. Let me just not use the word demurrage charge. It's like a storage charge.
And is it put in place as this charge as an incentive for you as a shipper to move quickly, to clear the space, or the system to move faster, so you don't have to pay this, because if you move it in a certain amount of time, you won't be charged? Is that why it's in place?
Correct. I think so, but I think and I'm just saying it right out, there shouldn't be a demurrage charge for things like this, and especially a hurricane crisis. There's no way they should charge us for the delay that is there, because we have no control over it. And not only that, the charges that they're charging us for demurrage charge, I could understand if, like, for example, we had taken the container to a particular warehouse or a site then to be unstuffed and strip it, but we delay in terms of taking back the container, then there should be a penalty for it. I understand that part. But this here that is sitting at the port, where we can't do nothing about it, we as a shipper.
It's just there because it's backlog and
Correct.
You cannot touch it. There's nothing you can do.
Nothing that Dennis Shipping or any other shippers that they can do in terms of that, because they lack of space in Jamaica. And I think Jamaica has grown in terms of the importation of cargo throughout the years, and especially the Western Parish. No, you know, it's building up, and a lot of people shipping more to Montego Bay, because it normally was a cruise era, but now a lot of people sending cargo back to the Western region, Montego Bay, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth too. So I think we need, I'm advocating for it, a larger warehouse, a government warehouse that we can that can accommodate the influx. And just in case we have something similar to this happen again, that they should be able to at least accommodate it. I had suggested that because of the crisis, we could not, there's no way we're supposed to use protocol, what we normally do to deal with this, because it's a crisis. So we have to go beyond, we have I'd have to lose money, whatever it is that we have to do. And I think that we should have get a temporary shed to accommodate it, get some other folks, get the JCF involved because of security, because we don't want them to come and steal the people, them goods and everything like that, and do something like that to spread it across. And who's ever gonna come before, and that would help too with the combination of the duty-free thing, so the people in the Western world could capitalize on that. Because number one, they can't get their things. And back to where you said on the social media, some folks are saying some things. I saw something, people sent it to me. A person opened a barrel, and there was worm, there was what was it in there?
Basically everything spoiled.
Yeah, not everything. There was a lot of things that were spoiled in the barrel. But what causes that also, Chop? There's two things that causes that. It's not somewhat the length of time that he has been there, because people are advised during crisis like this to ship non-perishable goods.
Yes.
So non-perishable goods would not have been spoiled in terms of that. But what probably happened is the way the sender packed it, and not to throw the blame on anybody else, because I myself had packed some things in the early stage, and I learned from it also that there are certain things you don't put it at the bottom of the barrel because the weight of the top would squash the bottom and burst it open, and then it spoil almost everything in the barrel. You know, and the lady that was showing it was a plastic barrel. So there's no possible way that nothing could have gotten into the barrel to wet the barrel. The barrel did not damage physically outside our thing because she did not show a photograph of it, but she showed the things that was in it, and it's a plastic barrel. So when we looked at that, you know, we know right off the bat that that barrel was not packed properly. Or also they had perishable goods inside their barrel that after a period of time it's spoiled, and we don't have no control over that. Dennis Shipping has no control over that. So I'm not here not just to defend Dennis Shipping. I just want them to be aware, because sometimes ignorance to the general public can cause them to say things differently and act out differently.
I understand. So where does that bring us now? Because earlier you said that somebody shipped something in October, November, and it's just being cleared now, and it's April. So how, we're obviously still in it. This is what you're telling me. We're still in it, very much so, still feeling you're going through your Melissa, as you're saying, and still feeling the after effects. So what is happening now to alleviate this, the backlog, to alleviate the demurrage charges that you're facing now?
And you're absolutely right, Trop. Right at this present time in Montego Bay, especially Montego Bay, Kingston, it's okay right now. You know, it's almost back to normal in Kingston. But Montego Bay, right now I have 27 containers. And when I say 27 containers, let me just give you an idea. It's 27 40-foot containers. And each container would consist of 100 and some. If it was just only barrels, it would come up to 100 and something barrels in that one particular container. So by 27, so we have over a couple thousand customers and stuff that are still waiting on their items. Some of them, I would not say that was from last year. Some of them is from January. 5 of the containers is from last year, some from January, and some came in February also. But they're still sitting there because what happened now, the backlog that is caused from that time, they're not stripping the containers that is really coming in after. So even though they came in after, they have to finish the ones that came in from before.
And so for context, how long would it normally take for a container to be stripped and for a customer to get their items?
All right. Normally, under normal circumstances, it would take approximately a week or two. But yeah, under normal circumstances, if you ship a barrel and it reached Jamaica, Montego Bay, it would take a week or two for them to strip it, for you to be able to go to pick up your barrel. But this is like months, you know. So
this is unprecedented. Even a barrel that came in March or February, this is still unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Yes, it's way, way out. And we have never seen anything like that. And we're trying to work with the Port Authority and the warehouse managers. O'Shane, my general manager, and I, we had a meeting the other day, and we're going to have another meeting and see how all of us could come together. And I wish that the other shippers that are there to get involved or contact us, or so let we go, as a team and not just an individual, because we are all affected by it. But one person said to me that, but Dennis, I had no friends that shipped with other folks and they haven't received their stuff as yet. Why is it that it's your company that they're putting out there in the general public so much? I said to them, as a friend of mine, a pastor friend of mine said, people don't throw stone at a tree that is not bearing fruit. And what it seems as if, like, for whatever reason it is, social media can be a good thing and it can be used as a bad thing. I remember in the days that if you ship with someone or a business has a problem with a customer, the customer would report it to the Better Business Bureau. And the Better Business Bureau would give you a chance to call to rectify it or file a complaint against you, and you have to deal with it between the customer and make sure that the customer is satisfied for it, or else it goes on to your record. No social media, every time something happens, they don't reach out to the management or they don't reach out to the person to give them a chance to rectify the problem that is happening. They go there, and what I realize is that Dennis Shipping is an easy name to call. And I'm going to give you an example. Just recently, when I said recently, it's about 2 months ago, somebody went to Nationwide radio station to say that they ship with Dennis Shipping and this and that and all sorts of derogatory things. A friend of mine called me about it, and I called my manager, and they called Nationwide warehouse, Nationwide radio station and everything like that. Would you believe, Trop, that this man did not ship with Dennis Shipping? Because he wants to get the attention and everything like that.
Right.
He had to go on Nationwide the next day to apologize, or else we'll bring a lawsuit against him.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things that is happening. It's not what it is. And people are looking for likes. So let's say they said they had shipped with John Brown. Nobody knows John Brown Shipping Company. So if they put it out there, people will say, I don't know this company. I can't even relate to this company. So let me put Dennis Shipping out there, because I know everybody knows Dennis Shipping. And then there's a lot of people out there. But, you know, I've seen some posts. I try not to look at it. And I see a lot of folks that says positive things and some say negative. And you're always going to get that. And that's part of it. You know, to whom much is given, much is asked of, and much is done to in terms of that. So we have to accept everything that we're doing, the good and also the bad that is happening. And we learn from some of these things too, whether it was our fault or not, how we can do things differently. But if they had given just a chance for the company to say, look, this is what happened, let me help you to do it, they probably would even benefit more out of it from the sympathy from the company than going to social media to do so in the initial stage. And not one of them have said that we went to Dennis Shipping management team and they were discouraged and everything. This is one of the reasons why they have to make that step. And there's another thing, and I'm coming to address this because I'm here and I feels it as a person, you know, like for example, this lady from Virginia, because people send it to my personal number all the time of whatever is happening, because Dennis, what is this? I don't know your company to be like that. You know, what is going on? This lady from Virginia cried that she shipped to Dennis Shipping and all of the things that was missing out of her barrel was taken out, and everything, the amount of list of things. Basically, she didn't get anything. I did an investigation in it. The lady did not ship directly with us. No, not only that. She said 3 months she had shipped the barrel. First of all, we did not get it in 3 months. They give it to someone in Virginia or one of those places. So what happened is now they have to accumulate X amount of cargo. That was before Melissa, you know.
So this is a different shipper.
Yes, it's a different ship altogether. But the lady didn't call the shipper that she shipped with, because we could not find her in our system because she did not ship with us. Or when we look at the consignee, because what happened is we also have people that consolidate with us. They will bring their cargo, like smaller shippers will bring their cargo to us, and we then in terms ship it for them. So we basically don't even have a contact with their barrels or with them. So we don't pick up their things. We don't go to their house. They didn't deliver it to a warehouse or anything like that. So when it comes there, my guys, them could not select a person barrel, said this barrel come from John. Let me go in there and take out all these things. And they don't have the time. We have over 24 cameras on site watching everything that is there. So my guys, them, I'm not saying things not gonna happen. You will always have unscrupulous people, but if they're pointed out to us, we definitely will take action, and we have taken action in the past. So I'm not saying that nothing never happened with Dennis Shipping. Just like any other business, we have experienced certain things, and we cannot control everything in life, you know. But what we need to do is people and our customer to help out to weed out the people that are in the business that are doing bad for our business and bad to our customer. And even staff, when they deal with staff, if they don't tell us about it or give us a chance, then we can't do nothing about it because they're keeping it to themselves, or they go on social media where I might not even see it on social media, you know. So this lady, and we have to put it out there for them to judge it. First of all, she said they stole a lot of stuff out of her barrel, right? But yet she paid X amount of money to customs. That would not make sense. Not only that, when you travel, you get an allowance, which is $1,000 now that a person's there. So if you have,
this is the yellow paper.
Yeah, they don't really give you a yellow paper now. It's a white paper. It used to call
but everybody knows it as a yellow paper,
right?
Yeah.
The C27.
Okay.
Yeah, they call it, the right name for it is a UBA.
Okay.
Yeah, unaccompanied baggage, luggage or baggage, or something like that. UBA. So, so how is it that she lost almost everything in her barrel, but yet custom charge her XYZ? And why would you not disclose that to customs when you went and pick it up? And it written on our bill of lading, which she probably did not get a copy of our bill of lading, so I can't blame her. It written on our bill of lading red, check contents before signing that you receive it in good condition. So why would you not draw the alarm? Why would you take it from the port? So a lot of things is happening which is not true. Another video that I want to address, you know, I'm just
just going through it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just might as well just get it off.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. One folks video that we had barrels in the rain while she was passing on Utica Avenue. She right in the sense that we had barrel. The guys were covering the barrel, but most of the barrels that she had video, if you look back in the video, it was mostly plastic barrels. The rain came down and the guys them just start covering it, the things them from all the way down the bottom. She did not video down the bottom where the guys them start covering up. And when I did my investigation about it, because when I saw it, I was livid myself. You know, I called my general manager and said, what is this happening? And I said, no, we bought a lot of tarpaulin, even though the big customers comes and put these things outside there. And in a crisis like this, we could hardly manage it. We didn't anticipate so much things. So whatever, even if that happened, you know, it's beyond our control in terms of that, because it was past our capacity in terms of dealing with all of that.
No, I mean, stuff like that, you're just mischief, you know. That lady, and you know, and it's just like, she obviously, I haven't seen the video, but you know, she obviously doesn't get a lot of attention in her life. And no, it's honestly, like, I'm telling you, I like this fame thing, this social media, like, attention, people don't get it normally in their life. And I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who use social media to get the attention that they need if they're not being listened to or not being heard. Right. But then they have folks like this who are just kind of just going out there trying to cause mischief, and then also just trying to get attention and have their voice being heard. I think that to me is like the negative and the danger of social media.
You're absolutely right, Trop. And I've seen that so much happen. Well, not just with Dennis Shipping, with other companies. And I said to myself, but what I realized, most of the companies that are large 500 Fortune company, if they make a mistake, they don't use it to put on social media, because they will get bashed by whatever the case may be. And people won't even care, because they know that company, they can't do nothing to harm that company, because that company is just a level far beyond their scope. And it's needed, you know, but they don't. I've seen things happen. I personally have experienced some other company that I even uses, and things happen, but nobody puts it out there, you know. And what they do not realize is that they are trying to destroy the businesses that are helping their own economy, that they're destroying just the same. And what is it that you're getting? You're gaining from this. And that's what they also have to realize, because I am not the only person that as shipper that even put posts. I noticed that there's another shipper that put a post out there that the staff thing there. And another thing is, a lot of the customers, a lot of them were very abusive to the staff because of the delay, and the staff had nothing to do with it. And most of our staff are fearful even to answer the phone because they did not know what to say to the customers. And I myself did not know what to tell the customers because we cannot give them a time because we had no control over when the container will be stripped because of a lack of space. And they don't understand that it's not Dennis Shipping, and it's not the other shippers them also. I'm not going to blame or put it past the blame, just like the other shippers them are going through the same problem. It's not them.
So what do we tell customers now who haven't got their stuff, that are still waiting? Like, what's the message to them, and how do what should they do at this point?
They're gonna get it. We are working on something, and the Port Authority, Professor Shirley, he said he's gonna go back to the drawing board after we had the meeting and see what we can do to come up with to alleviate the load that the backtop that is in, especially in Montego Bay, because we have a very interactive meeting the other day, and I made some suggestion, and they came up with things, and all of us, and they said they're going to go back and talk to someone else and see what can be done. So I'm hoping and praying that this week they're supposed to get back to me in terms of that we can come to an amicable way of dealing with it, where the customers benefit, Dennis Shipping, and all of us benefit. But there's somebody gonna have to lose. Who is it gonna lose? But our customers can't lose out on this. And Dennis Shipping cannot take any more loss.
Yeah,
because we have paid our price in terms of everything that we do. And it's really scary. And you might ask where we see our business at this point because of the negative publicity that has been going on through the media. The shipping business dipped a lot because people are fearful to ship their cargo. They might do it by air where they can pick it up easily by air. But some of the things, like the larger items, it's hard for them to do it by air. And it costs too much because it goes by the weight or by the volume. We used to do that way back in the days, that we used to send it by air and give it to the customers, them too. So I know the procedures. We had a FAA license back in the day. So I know the procedures of how to go about doing that. But I'm very optimistic about it, that just like our people, how resilient we are, we're going to come back, and the shipping business is going to come back. And I know the government going to do something about it to get the additional warehouse that is needed and the space that is needed. And I think all of us intentions are good. It's just for us to work together to get it complete.
And with the additional warehouse space, is that something that would be permanent, or it would be set up temporarily to alleviate what's happening now?
Well, I think they're going to do a temporary thing. They have identified some places where they probably can do temporary thing, but I think it should be a permanent thing going forward based on the amount of cargo that is coming into Jamaica and based on about the amount of demurrage charge that we shippers have to pay. That money could go towards building a warehouse, and it's going to the steamship line, even though the government gets a part of it just the same. That should look at in terms of, how do we take off the burden from our shipper, or the money that could have been used in our economy for something else and given back to our people. And that's what we need them to do. I am out here, Trop, straightforward to anybody that is there willing to work with them to help them to do whatever there's need to be done to get this thing done. Even if I have to be physically there to help, I will. I spoken with customs, the new commissioner, acting commissioner of customs, Ben, and I spoke to the tech guy that deals with all of these things, and they said they're gonna come in and see how they can work with us to see it, because everybody realized that it's the aftermath of Melissa. And it's just really, really bad now. It has to be taken now. Melissa passes, but it's still left the residual, and it's more than a residual that it left behind, because this is still the chaotic part of it that is left behind here.
And I would assume you may be just kind of doing the math. Like if you're the biggest shipper in terms of volume to Jamaica with the demurrage charge, you're probably having the largest financial hit compared to the other shippers, I would assume.
Yes, way more than them. Actually, they most of the other shippers would probably fare out a little better than Dennis Shipping. One of the reasons is there's limited amount of space in the warehouse in Montego Bay, and each shipper's allocated certain amount of space. And if we have 10 times the amount of cargo that we would normally have, our space would not be able to accommodate that amount of things that is there. So we would actually suffer more than a person who have a fewer containers because they will be more likely to get certain amount of containers trip.
Should people still ship to Jamaica now?
Yes. My general manager, I have to give him credit for this. He have implemented a lot of things. What we do, we encourage some of them to ship it to Kingston. And what we do, we use one of our truck from Kingston to meet one of our truck in Montego Bay. We clear the things for the customers, but we have to agree with those particular customers who wants to send it to Montego Bay and let us clear it for them, and then send it to Montego Bay, and then they pick it up in Montego Bay.
So it's better. Am I hearing this right? It's better right now to ship to Kingston than to Montego Bay?
Yes, if the person, yes, it would be much better to ship to Kingston and Montego Bay. I would advise folks be cautious about shipping to Montego Bay at this present time. I have to be straightforward until the government does something about it to thing there or the warehouse, because the warehouse there, they can't do nothing much about it. They have to find a place where they can put up a temporary site or a location that they have that they can use as a temporary site for now with customs involved. And as we said, we're going to be in dialogue with all the different players to see what we can do to make this happen, because it's just really crazy. And, is our business at stake at this present time. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here with you, Trop, because I know the people that listen to your program, they understand certain things and they will read between the line and know exactly what it is that we are saying. And if there's any question that they want to ask me, I'm willing to answer any question, because I'm being transparent with everything that is going on happening here.
Okay. So why don't we do that? Why don't we take a quick break? And if anybody in the audience, I have my phone here. If you want to just get your questions in, just let me know. We'll save them, and then we'll get your questions answered. Even if you have a specific shipping question that you ship something, it's there. It doesn't matter. As granular as you want to get, please ask the questions, and we will come back and get them answered for you. Welcome to our newly renovated standard rooms, and this is our standard veranda, our balcony, depending on if you're on the first floor or the second floor. It comes with 2 chairs and a table. And this is our double queen room. And as you can see, we have our standard herring artwork on the walls with a accent wall and the wooden bed heads, and each bed has a reading lamp, and those reading lamps have USB type A outlets plus a standard outlet on the wall for you to plug in any electronics that you may have. Rooms also come standard with a flat screen television, as well as a desk, coffee maker / tea maker that you can use in the mornings if you'd like, and you also have coffee and tea available to you as well. And we also have a mini fridge for your convenience. Of course, we are AC room. This is the Throp-X, this is Jamaica, but we also have a ceiling fan for you available as well if you prefer, or you want to use both. And moving on to the bathroom area, I just wanted to point out that all of our standard room doors now are using electronic key cards, which we are very happy about, and just much more easier to use from a hotel logistics standpoint. Moving into the bathroom, this is probably one of our most proudest renovations. Moving into the shower area, we have the rainfall shower head as well as the handheld shower head. And the designer went into the details of putting the shower together with this color schemes, but also the practicality of it. And I just want to highlight some of those. And one of them being the shower drain, as well as the shower heads, which you saw, which is all complementing each other. And of course, the shower amenities with the shelf for your convenience towards the back of the shower, and even where the shower faucet is, which is towards the back of the shower, which allows you to turn on the shower without getting wet. Moving on to the sink, it's also a black handle sink, which again just complements the design of the entire shower and bathroom, and it's all coordinated even with the room design. And as you can see, we have the towel hooks as well, which I really appreciate. And that in a nutshell is our newly renovated standard room. I hope you enjoyed it.
I've been with the Pinnacle since inception, since we first opened our doors to the public in 2023. I'm a sales executive for the Pinnacle. So it was not an easy concept to grasp for here. I'm like, in Jamaica, in Montego Bay, how is that going to work? Because it's villas and it's hotel. It's residences and hotel and then commercial area. That's huge, right? I've seen it elsewhere in bigger markets, in maybe better demographic locations. So in Jamaica, like, how will that work? How can we sell this? How are we going to sell this? You know, a lot of doubts when I just heard about it. But then I'm here, I'm doing it every day. I'm loving it. It's a great product. It's an easy sell. It's something I can do in my sleep. I can talk the Pinnacle in my sleep. I believe in the vision of our directors, and we're all working together as a team to make sure that in 2029, when we open our doors to everybody, all that we've dreamed of and they're working towards will be accomplished. Our directors they're born in China. They're Chinese, but they're Jamaicans. They've been here for an average of 20 years each. This is where they have their businesses, their families. This is where their children go to school. So this is where they want to give back as well. They want to make sure they're helping to build Montego Bay and Jamaica in general by offering this kind of space where, as a business owner, you can come and own a part of this. You can have your offering here as well. And we're going to have a great mix. We're not restricting it. We're not limiting. We just want to make sure that anybody that's in this space also believes in our dream, has that vision, wants to have that elevated experience, and wants to offer that elevated service to a potential visitor or guest or client that comes in. We're sitting in our commercial area now, where if you're here on this property, or if you don't live here, you're not visiting, but then you want to come to the supermarket or the pharmacy or the cafe or the clothing store, you can come here. It's commercial, it will be open to the public. The public will have access. Then we have the 4 towers. We have the Swallowtail, which is the residential tower. So if you buy into the Swallowtail, then the expectation is that you're going to live here. And then who wouldn't want to live here, right? So you can actually live at a branded residence, 5-star hotel property, right? Second tower is our Canary Tower. And these units we're selling individually. It's the same 1:4 units as the Swallowtail Tower. Same layout, same design, same look and feel. But in this tower, the expectation is, or what we're saying to you is, if you buy here, you don't have to live here. We'll never allow Airbnb or short-term rentals, but you own your unit, it's titled in your name, and then you have the option to put it back into the residential return program with the hotel. That means if you don't live in Jamaica, and most of our buyers they're Jamaicans or members of the diaspora. We have some international people, but it's a good mix. So it means that if you're not ready to live here, if you don't live here right now, but you still want to have some kind of piece of this pie, you can buy into the Canary. When you're not in your unit, it's with the hotel. The hotel takes care of everything associated with that. It's the guests coming in and out, the marketing, the maintenance, and the average day-to-day of the unit. The third tower, the Hummingbird, we have not yet started to sell, but will basically be the same manner as the Canary. That will be the buying option for persons that want to buy. Our fourth tower, which is going to be the hotel, it's the Mondrian. That we're not selling those units at all. The hotel has already taken that. And the hotel group is their core hospitality group. The first 2 towers are 28 stories, 141 units. The third tower, we've modified a little bit based on our conversations with our core. It's now going to be 25 stories with a little bit under 200 units. And then we're going to have the third tower, which will be 23 stories because what we have in mind is we want everybody to also get a view, right? And I'm sure we'll touch on the views in a little bit. So we're speaking with the hotel, we have that in mind, and we're making sure that it works for us as well as for our buyers, with all the amenities that you can think of and associate with a 5-star property. So it's the parking garages. So the first parking garage will have 380 car spaces for parking with storage lockers. The second one is 275. And on top of those parking garages, now you have the pool decks and the green area, rec area, where you can come as a resident or as a visitor and just have fun, relax, read a book, go by the bar, take your children. Just a general relaxation area. We're going to have pickleball, tennis court, basketball courts. We'll have 5-star restaurants, cigar bar, wine bar, spa, gym, 24 hours. It never closes. Living starts on the 3rd floor, and then the layout changes as well. From 3 to 18, there are 7 units per floor. You get a combination of 5 2-beds, 1 1-bed, and a 3-bed. Then once you get above that, 19 to 24, you have 2 2-beds, 2 3-beds. They're bigger. And then above that, 25 and 26, 2 sets of 4-bedroom sub-penthouses. Then it goes 27, 28, 5,000 square feet each of a 5-bedroom penthouse. If you buy a penthouse, you automatically get a slip with your purchase. If you buy a sub-pent, you get a slip with your purchase. The others will be open for you to pay to use while you're here. We'll also have a water taxi. We're going to have a ferry service, so we can pick people up at Freeport and take them here. We can take people from here to strategic locations in and around Montego Bay. So it cuts out all the highway traffic and the downtown traffic. If we don't choose to travel by road, you can actually go by sea much faster. I have different clients with different reactions. I have clients that I speak with all the time because they're very hands-on and they want to make sure and they want updates very often, right? And then I have clients that are just ready. I have a lot of clients that especially are in the US. They're Jamaicans, but in the US, and they've worked hard for years. They're ready to come back home and they're like, can you just finish already? This is beautiful. This will actually match the lifestyle that I have now. This, I'll have my walking trail, I'll have my gym. There's a supermarket right there. I want to come home. I am ready for this elevated style of living where I'm from. So they're experiencing it in another country. And they're excited that they can come home, they can retire here just the same and have that same level of experience. A lot of people weren't expecting it. No 2 units have the same price. That's food for thought, right? So we have pricing based on availability right now, because that's where the starting price is, based on what's available. And then also based on the size of the unit, the layout, and then the floor that you're on and the view that you get. So for example, we circulate a lot. We do a lot of media and social media posts with our model units. That's a $12.99 lagoon facing unit, right? Right to the right of that is a 3-bed unit that's 1,732 square feet. And then all around you have 4 more 2-beds, 1056, 1323, 1473, different sizes. You get a sea view, you get a sea and mountain view. There are different views and different facts to consider when you're in a unit. So I'm not trying to be roundabout, but that does impact the price, right? So it depends on what you want, but comfortably, we're averaging now, you're looking at close to $500,000 for a 1-bed, over $600,000 for a 2-bed, and then roughly $1 million for a 3-bed. And then before you respond and say, or before our viewers respond and say, that sounds kind of high, we did our market research. It's pretty close to a lot of other offerings locally. And then you still can compare offerings to other offerings, because you're not just buying a building, you're not just buying a structure. You're buying into a branded residence, into elevated lifestyle, into luxury living. Why not? We're saying if this is the experience that you want, if what we're offering matches your lifestyle now or the one that you're working to have, come in and have a conversation with us. Let's discuss your options. We will be handover ready with the Swallowtail Tower in April of 2027, but construction will be done before that. For Canary, handover ready and construction due date is 2028. We're ahead of that. The entire development is 2029. So all amenities, the homes along the front, along the sea line, the towers, done for 2029.
Hey everyone, Throp here. I hope you enjoyed that infomercial on the Pinnacle. I know really exciting stuff ahead. If you'd like some more information, please scan the QR code on your screen right now or click the link in the description below, and we'll have a representative from the Pinnacle reach out to you right away. Now back to the stream. All right, and we are back. Thanks for waiting around. And we are sitting here with Mr. Dennis Hawthorne, CEO and founder of Dennis Shipping. And we are talking about the shipping crisis that is currently taking place here in Jamaica post Hurricane Melissa. And if you're just joining either on the replay or joining the live stream, you can go back to our conversation, kind of building up to where we are now. So we're at the point of question and answers right now. And I see a few people put in the chat a few questions. And so if you have any questions to ask Dennis, please feel free. He's very transparent and open to answering any concerns that you may have as it relates to shipping to Jamaica. But before we get into the question, I just want to make it clear, I think it's something very important that you said, Dennis, which is your recommendation to ship to Kingston and not Montego Bay at this time.
Yes.
So I just want to reiterate that. That is the advice that we're being given by Mr. Hawthorne as it relates to shipping to Jamaica. It's just much better, less riskier in terms of timeline and getting your goods cleared to ship to Kingston instead of Montego Bay. Okay, first question that we have here. This is from, I just lost it. I can't see it. Sorry, one second. Oh, here we go. Thank you. All right. This one is from Talma. Can the cargo in Montego Bay be transferred to Kingston for processing and then delivered to a consignee?
Not at this point. Not at this point. They would have to probably send it by truck to Montego Bay to process. But we're looking into it. I think by this week, we should know what we can do. What Customs suggested is that what they would do is scan most of the cargo, and then we take it out and probably find somewhere that we can put it where the customers can get it, or we just pay for it up front, and the customer reimburse us for the amount that we pay to Customs. So there's different ways that we are looking into it of how we can facilitate it to make it easier for the customers. Okay, very good. This one is, I guess this is more of a comment. This is from JR62. Mr. Hawthorne, please ensure that the temporary storage is available and the containers can be stored immediately. Government loves to go hard with hard hat and shovel and make a simple gesture. So I guess he's supporting the idea of a temporary storage situation. Oh yeah, we're great.
All right, this one is from Johnny Johnson. A little outside the scope of what we're talking about, but nonetheless a shipping question. What is the future of shipping in Jamaica from the global access in direct relations to cost of the, I guess basically the cost of the war?
Oh, the war.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, I think we're gonna have an increase because since the oil and even though most of the ships they use that, so we might have an increase. It all depends on how long this war goes until. You know, it's hard for me to say, but I'm pretty much optimistic that things are gonna fall back in place soon. You know, so there's nothing much that I can comment about that because I wouldn't even know that, you know, but it all depends. I'm pretty much optimistic. It's not going to go that far. Hoping.
Yeah. And so a follow-up question to that. What do you make of the logistics hub that is being built out, the infrastructure of it being built out for Jamaica? Like, what do you think of that? What do you think it will do for Jamaica and its future?
Oh, I think it's a fantastic thing that is happening to Jamaica. It simply means that Jamaica would be one of the main hub in the Caribbean island and have one of the better ports in terms of transshipment. So what's going to happen is that most of the ship going to other places would leave their cargo here and then go to, because it's much cheaper for them to leave it here, go to the other location, and then it can, on their way back, they picked it up from there to go back.
Can you give us a hypothetical real world example of like what that would look like, a shipping container coming from another place in the world?
All right. So let's first take, for example, a ship carrying about 3,000, 4,000 TEU. That's containers that they have on it. And destined to Jamaica is probably about 1,000 TEU. And destined to some other places far out from the Caribbean would be another 1,000 or so. What happened is now if they drop off that 1,000 to Jamaica, and they could drop off the rest that is going to the other places that are going, except for the Caribbean, and just take the small amount to the other areas. It's much cheaper for them because they don't have to carry that load. So the more the load that you carry on a ship, it's more it burns and everything, and that's the taxes that you have to pay.
So those 1,000 or so that would leave Jamaica and go to other places, they would go on a smaller boat, a different boat?
Well, I don't know how they do it, but I think that's the best way to do it. Just send it on a smaller boat, leave it in Jamaica, send it on a smaller boat to the different Caribbean island. Just like in Montego, we don't have a cargo ship that goes directly into Montego Bay, so to speak. They go to Kingston, drop the cargo off, the containers off, and they load it onto another ship that comes into Montego Bay.
And then can you also explain how Jamaica would benefit from this from a financial perspective?
The tariff that they have to pay. So each ship that comes in, they have to pay the port certain amount based on what they have that is going there. So if all the ships decided to come here first before they go to the island, there's a lot of revenue that Jamaica could have in terms of transshipment.
What kind of money are we talking here? Ballpark?
Millions of dollars. I can't put an estimate on it because I don't know the quantity of ship that comes here and the pricing that they charge the ship individual. But I'm thinking that the revenue would be far away, like couple million US dollars that it would be.
And the Prime Minister has spoken about and referred to Jamaica as being the potential Singapore of the West. Is that something that you think is feasible with this?
I think it's feasible in the direction that Jamaica is going right now. And I heard a sign that they found oil somewhere there. I think it's might able to pass Singapore. It's just to get the people to condition themselves and orderly and everything like that. But I think it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Okay, next question. This one's from Justin. What do you think is the major investment needed besides warehouses? For example, custom modernization, port infrastructure, and inland logistics like trucking.
Yes, I need it. And I spoke to customs, and this is what we need. And since we even though they said Jamaica is a third world country, I think our people are first world. So why not have the first world technology? Because we pretty much have first world technology in Jamaica. And what they need to do is able to scan a full container instead of scanning an individual cargo. And if we can get that scanning machine that just scan the containers, it would save a lot in terms of labor force and everything that it's dealing with, just like how the US does it. And we talked about random scanning, like not just every single thing that is scanned, but you select certain things to be scanned, because going through everything right through, and at the rate that we're going right now and the cargo that is coming in, it's going to be really, really hard for us to go through everything manually or physically.
Because you were saying before, you gave us the example where you have the 27 containers that you have waiting, but then how many barrels per se was on each
like
one?
80 something barrels up to 100 something barrels.
And then they have to go through like a physical person, human being has to go through each one.
Well, yes, most of the time, but they're trying to cut that out now. What they do, they put a pallet with like 4 barrels on it, and it goes through the scanner. So it's just 4 at a time can go through that particular scanner. It's like an X-ray, like the human X-ray, but this is full cargo.
And we only have one of those?
Well, the Montego Bay warehouse just have one.
Wow. So it's literally 4 barrels at a time.
Right, 4 barrels at a time that they have to put in through that scanner. So it's really, 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 really hard for them to do it.
Wow. Yeah.
You know,
it's a huge bottleneck.
Yeah, it's a huge bottleneck. So those are some of the things that they need to look at. And I think if they need more a more enhanced warehouse, like especially what is happening now and AI taking over and stuff like that. We need to use technology to work for us, especially in the shipping business now that we're having the problem that we're having. And I think the government need to look at that part and see how we can do that.
So in a place like America, they have, I would imagine, like a huge scanner, like you're saying, that they could just put a container through.
Right.
Okay. So we would definitely benefit from something like that.
Yeah, we definitely would benefit from it. From you, a container scanner that scans everything and goes in. I don't know the technical part behind it and the reason. We're gonna talk it over with customs because I'm a little bit ignorant to that part of it. So I don't want to confirm that, they can't do it or they're not doing it.
And how long does it take to scan a container with one of these scanners?
Like a full container load with the one scanner that they
with this hopefully scanner that we get.
It takes if it's a full container, it's just like a couple minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just scan right over it. Like, I'm sorry. Right.
I would have said that would be opposed to like probably hours that it would take to
scan each. Yeah, it takes approximately about 2 hours or so, or hour and a half to unload and stuff a container and scan it through the scanner to get it to the warehouse. Like 2 hours.
Wow. Okay. I got a few more questions here. This one's from Georgina. Are there any plans to open storage facilities and hire more workers to alleviate the backup?
We're talking about that. We're actually talking about that right now to see what they can do. I can't give you any conclusive decision on that because this week they're going to get back to me. So I can't say no or I can't say yes on that at this point.
And they being customs?
Warehouse and the Port Authority.
Warehouse and Port Authority. Thank you for that.
The warehouses and the Port Authority is talking about it and what we can do to alleviate the backlog because they're gonna have to do something. So I think that's in the making also.
Okay, this one is from You Don't Trust People. Mr. Hawthorne, what will you have in place for shipment for Montego Bay 2026 busy season based on last year's crisis?
What we could put in place?
Yeah.
There's nothing on our part that we could probably put in place because if it remains the same where the warehouse does not have the space, then we're still back to 2025. There's nothing much that we can do differently. And the only advice that we can give them is now ship their things to Kingston and we're going to have the same problem that we have. So the only solution at this present time is to put in some more infrastructure warehouses that could accommodate the influx of the extra cargo that are coming in. That's the only solution that I can think of right off the bat.
So we're in basically late April right now, about to be May. Do you think that there is a possibility that this crisis that we're in now will actually fold into the Christmas season of 2026?
Well, this is one thing I have to be pessimistic about.
Okay, continue.
Yes, I think so.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Unless something drastically happens,
that's crazy.
This is where it's at this point. Based on what I'm looking from my point of view, where I'm looking from, that's what is going to happen. But I'm hoping to be on the other side where if they put the side, but if they don't do anything, we're definitely going to be back at 2025. If they don't do anything, something has to be done.
That's a scary thought. Very, very scary. And then, we're talking more about the personal side of things, like people shipping personal items, but we didn't even really talk about the businesses that rely on shipping and your company.
Yeah.
And I know they are affected tremendously. Imagine you just not having inventory, our inventory being backed up for 5 months. Like, what are you doing? How are you managing cash flow?
Yeah, especially for the other small businesses that are doing this, even the grocery stores, them that are shipping their items from different places to get there to distribute to their customers, they do have a lot of problem because people reached out to me and said they can't even make any money because they don't have any goods to sell. They don't have even product, certain things. So it's like a domino effect. It affects everybody, not just the regular personal effects that is going there. It affects the commercial side and especially small businesses that is affected. And what the difference is with larger business like the hotel, they can full a full container load with their personal item, with their goods, commercial goods, and it delivered straight to the hotel and it's unload there. That's not a problem because it does not have to go into the warehouse. So don't get it wrong. We don't really have that problem in terms of the full commercial shipment, only the consolidated shipment. So if a person wants to have a business, I would advise them to load a full container. To go directly to them, not a consolidated container. But what happens is sometimes they don't have enough to fill a container. So it's not feasible for them to fill a full container to go to the different location. And what happens if they do have almost a full container, they still would have to find a way to offset the expense, which they would have to pass it on to the customer. And so there's a chain line of a domino effect. I like to use domino effect. I'm a domino player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So I just want to harp on that just for a little bit. So if you're shipping a barrel per se, your goods are going to be put into consolidated, as you said, with a bunch of other people's goods on this container. And then when that container is full, that is shipped. And that has to be cleared into traditional way at the warehouse.
Right.
As opposed to even like what we do here at Travelers, if we're doing a renovation project, we'll fill an entire container. That container will be brought here directly. It still has the lock on it.
Yeah.
And then customs will actually cut it and they'll clear it here. We set up across the street and they clear our items right here on the spot. And that is actually probably advantageous to probably the whole system.
Yes. You see, you're a big guy, Trop. You sip a whole container and help us that everybody can do something like that.
It's a business. It's for the business.
That everybody can do something like that. But there's a lot of folks out there, that are ship with us, so they're small business that are suffering.
I'm telling you, I can imagine.
So we're feeling it's not just us are feeling it as shipper. And as Dennis Shipping is not unique to the situation. There are other shippings out there that are crying. One guy said to me, said, "Thank you, Dennis, for standing up for us in terms of that part." But somebody have to. Back in the days, we had shipping association, the steamship line were doing certain things against the shippers. And we formed a Caribbean American Shipping Association. I was one of the co-founder for it. And we got things done, as a whole. But right now, most of the shippers does not want to come together. I personally been in the business for so long. I have no qualm about working with other shippers, doing other stuff, because there's so much out there. Dennis Shipping can never, ever manage all the things that are there. Why you think you have FedEx, UPS, and all of those things that are coming? And these are huge companies, but yet they're still busy at time where they can't take your cargo. There's more than enough out there for us. Well, we have to put ourselves together so we can have a force, have a voice out there that people respect us in terms of what we do, so we can have some dictation of how we go about doing things. And I'm encourage all the shippers who wants to be part of everything, we come together to have a voice, not just Dennis Shipping out there. Yes, we are the one that most people put out there on social media. I don't know why. I would wonder when, I'm going to have to change the name Dennis because Dennis is too easy. And Dennis comes with menace. Like Dennis with a menace. But anyway, sometimes I just have to smile at it. And I really have concern for some of those customers because they're ignorant to what is happening and they're feeling it. And sometimes there's nothing that you can really tell them to ease that pain that they're going through. And I tell people that shipping business is one of the most, what would I say? The business that if it's affected, there's no other business that can be affected as much as shipping business. One of the reasons is that, for example, if you sell a car and you sell a lemon car, you can upgrade the car and give the person a newer car, a better version car, and that person would be happy. If a person ships something that has sentiment to it, you cannot upgrade sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot replace sentiment. So I understand, and this is one of the reasons why we put out our care, we emphasize, and people sometimes I start would say I'm miserable about certain things. Yes, I'm miserable about it because I know what these people put into shipping their things, and some of them, when you go to their house, some of them really, really have it, but they are trying hard to help the folks back here in Jamaica, who is sometimes worse off than them.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the plead, and I wish that we as a shipper can do more for our customers.
Okay, thank you for that. This one is from Erica Cohen. Hi, Throp and Dennis. When will we be able to ship without obstacles post Hurricane Melissa?
It's hard if they're shipping to Kingston, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that they can't ship without the obstacles. Kingston, we shouldn't have a problem at this point.
Okay.
The longest it probably takes about a week in Kingston to get it shipped. So you shouldn't have a problem within a week it reached there. And if you ship from Florida, it takes like 3 days or so. It leaves the Friday, it reach Kingston the Monday. You should be able to get it by Thursday or Friday. And if you call me, I might try to get it Thursday for you.
There you go. There you go. Throp exclusive. All right. This one is from Tazfez. Mr. Hawthorne, is there any plans to get a larger warehouse in Brooklyn to accommodate the amount of cargo shipping from your Brooklyn branch?
Oh, that's a good one. The space is not there at this present time. And if that person knows where we are at presently, and what we are trying to do is not so much the space, because we don't keep the cargo. We have to find a way to send out the container fast enough. What happened is sometimes the steamship line does not have the containers available to bring for us to load. So it's not so much the warehouse space, because we're not even supposed to be keeping cargo, because that's a problem to keep the cargo. It has to go right away as it comes. And that's how we work it in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a larger space in Florida, larger warehouse in Florida. And we have some of the same problems. Sometimes we're not getting the containers as fast as we can. So it's not to get a larger space, because if we get a larger space, then presently that we have is over 12,000 square feet at this point. We're going to have to look into that later on to see what we can do. I'm pretty much have open mind on things. If we can get a larger space and then know a larger space somewhere in Brooklyn, but we're not going to get anything near Brooklyn at this point that we can manage.
All right, I'm the way real estate is going now.
Oh my gosh, crazy! Forget
about it.
Yeah, it's like $5 million US for one of those warehouses that you can think about that we can manage, and we'd have to tell the person that we would have to raise the price, and we don't want to do that.
All right, you heard that, Taz? All right, this one is from Radio TV Queen Alicia. Are furniture shipments from China considered a consolidated shipment? I have wall panels and windows, etc., to order for my home. Please speak to the cost and process for that kind of shipment.
All right. Another thing is people think that we do import. We don't import from Jamaica. We only ship from the US, not from China or anything like that. But my knowledge of the shipping business, if she has a full container load coming from China, it shouldn't be affected, I should say.
And I guess I guess you wouldn't know. She's asking about the cost and processing.
No, well, what she should have to do is get a broker in Jamaica that can do all those footwork, legwork. And the broker cost would be approximately 25,000 Jamaican dollars that they would charge, 15 to 25,000 Jamaican dollars, and they would go through the process, because they have a Asikuda that they have to do an entry and stuff like that. So she would not be able to do that. So she could just get a broker to clear them for him. It's not something that you go to the Wharf to pick up by yourself, just like that.
Gotcha. Okay, I think I'll read this comment for you. This last one just came in. This is from Unique. Says, "What am I hearing is solutions from Dennis Shipping. It's time to get others on board. Even create a committee if there's not one already. Everyone can meet via Zoom and implement these strategies."
Absolutely right. I'm open and willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. If we can get some folks together, and as I put it out there, and we can get a body together to really implement these things. We need that. And Dennis Shipping alone cannot be the only advocate out there doing all of this. We need some help. Dennis Shipping cannot do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there to the other shippers, and I know we all feeling it. You might not cry publicly or so, but I know we all feeling it because I've been in the business for almost 40 years. I've been in the business for 40 something years. 41 years I've been in the business. I own my business for 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a long time. So I know most of the folks in the shipping business. Almost everybody knows me. They know my reputation. I'm a straight shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I tell it like it is. I don't really have anything to hide from anyone. And this is one of the reasons why I could come out publicly, not to defend what the offense and what is happening here, the offset of Melissa and what is happening to Dennis Shipping.
All right, I have a couple of comments here for you as well. This is from Lessa. "My husband and I have no issues with Dennis Shipping. The company in New York did an excellent job. The words cannot explain how much we appreciate the effort Dennis Shipping put forth for us."
Thank you.
This one's from Jay. "Always ship with Dennis Shipping. Never had a problem. Enough respect to Mr. Hawthorne and his team." This one's from Claudine. "Florida Dennis Shipping was the best. My cousins dropped off barrels. It was affordable. They came a month before mine. I paid some local shipper 3x the cost. Came months later with attitude." So you got some advocates for you.
I'm happy for those. So, but that's very encouraging too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having an army behind you, so you can go forward.
Yeah.
Knowing that somebody is there to hold your shoulder or support you on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy for that. And I have to commend the staff, them, not me taking the credit for it, because they are the one out there in the field doing all the hard work.
No, and I appreciate you coming on, Dennis, to talk about this. I thought this was important, and for people to understand. A couple of takeaways that I have from this conversation is your recommendation to ship to Kingston instead of Montego Bay just for lower risk. Also, very concerning to know that this can roll over into the 2026 Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
And would that advice still, maybe you can come on later in the year and things will have changed and you can update us. But given that could be the possibility and the reality that we're facing, is a recommendation to ship to Kingston instead of Montego Bay continuously?
Yes. There's a question that was asked of Dennis Shipping, because I think some of the comments are saying that Dennis Shipping Dennis Hawthorne does not own Dennis Shipping.
Oh yeah, I meant to bring that up. But yeah.
Sorry to move forward.
Yeah,
That's
no problem.
you're ending in that. Yes.
Yep.
So you want to ask me the question?
Yes. So there was talking about social media. There was a comment there that we were talking about earlier, or rumor, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, that Dennis Shipping has been sold and is owned by a white man, and that's why things are the way that they are now. Which we can emphatically say that that's not true.
That's not true. And you would be the first to know, Trop, about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not true. I think Dennis Hawthorne owns Dennis Shipping fully. And there's no white folks. They said there's a Chinese man own it now. And it's some white folks own it now. As the last time I look at myself, I'm still black. So I'm thinking that, as me own it still, just the same. Me, little country boy from Grange Hill that still own Dennis Shipping.
Excellent. Good to know. Good to know. And so this one came in from TNK 2015. Nope, sorry. This is from Simone, excuse me. And it says, "Greetings, Throp and Throppers. Not sure if this question was asked. Will Dennis Dennis Shipping start shipping from Atlanta?
You know, my general manager just proposed that to me recently. You know, that's something that we're gonna look at because the demand from there almost, well, it's overwhelming, believe me. But I am a little bit too old now to answer those questions. It's up to my staff to venture out there and to manage that location. You know, but not from my point of view. But they just put that proposal to me that they want to go into Atlanta because it's the demand is there. And from ever since, we were supposed to go in there before, but it's a little bit too hard for me to venture in to go back into business. I should be in my bed right now, but
You're on the podcast.
but I'm in my because of this. You see the amount of hard work it takes, even when I'm retired, I'm supposed to be still working here. I'm gonna have to tell Ashane to give me an increase in my salary.
Yeah,
you know?
for real.
Yes.
And you know, to your point about Atlanta, I could tell you that we are with one of our banking partners. I could tell you with VM, we're actually doing an event later this year together. We're collaborating on an Atlanta event. But it just goes to show you like how many of the diaspora is there for them to be having trying to have a presence there, to have me involved there, and then requests for shipping from there. It's just like, it just tells you that the Jamaican diaspora are like very, very strong. I don't know what the numbers are, but it just seems to me it's strong.
It's very strong. I think it's probably third after New York and Florida.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think it's one of the third strongest Jamaican community. I was there recently, and I was surprised to see the amount of Jamaican that was there, and people were telling me about the Jamaican eras and stuff like that. You know. Yeah, so it's a good venture to go into Atlanta. It's lucrative. It should be lucrative.
Okay, I think that's it. Just kind of see if we have any last minute ones. Yeah, I think that's all we got for questions.
Yeah, my son Brian there, he helps out now. I think he's probably on the podcast there if he's still there.
Yeah,
you know, he's a pastor in Trelawney, so he helps to motivate the staff. You know, so we're gonna have to get another pastor in the US too to help to motivate the other staff them, and hoping that everything will be much better later on.
Yes. Anything else you want to close out with or make mention of before we say goodbye?
Well, I'm just saying that when I build this company, you know, as our motto says right here on my shirt, committed to excellence, and we intend to carry that out. Whatever it takes, we are committed to excellence, and our customers and the people that are on the podcast can help us to do that, to reach that goal in terms of we being committed and stay committed to excellence.
Wonderful. So I just want to take this opportunity, I guess I'll look at this camera, to thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that. We haven't done one of these live stream podcasts in some time. This was a lot of fun. I thought Dennis was a great guest to do this with, and I thought this subject was very, very relevant to where we are right now. And of course, for all your shipping needs, please go to dennisshipping.com. That's who we use as travelers. I can tell you that right now. And we've had a great experience over the last 20 years or whatever it's been that we've been shipping and working with Dennis. And as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, he does a lot of philanthropic work. All of our materials from my family's nonprofit organization, to Grow Education Environment Trust, was shipped through Dennis Shipping free of charge. I'm talking about millions of books, thousands of computers, and he does a lot for the country. He really, really, really does. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then if you are thinking again of shipping something to Jamaica, this is who I always recommend. This is who I always go with. And I think you should too. So once again, thank you so much, Dennis, for coming on the pod today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all out there for joining. And I will see you on Thursday. We got another Throp-X live stream on Thursday. We have, really, really special one. Let me make mention, take the time out. We are having the Alpha School of Music come on Thursday, and we're starting about an hour earlier. And it's going to be a basically a concert of some sort. You're going to get a tour of the school. They are doing some really, really, really special things there. And I'm so excited to be bringing it to you all on the live stream. We're going to be sending out a newsletter probably tomorrow, just reminding you about it. But mark your calendars on Thursday. You don't want to miss out on this. We've never done anything like this before. And we've been working on this for the last few weeks or so. And so please make sure you come and join on Thursday. And if you haven't heard about the Alpha School of Music in Kingston, you're in for a treat. You really, really are in for a treat. So don't miss out. Thursday, 3 p.m. Jamaica time, 4 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you then. Everybody have a great rest of your Sunday. And I will see you in a few days. Peace, everyone. Throp here again. As you're probably hearing, Jamaica is on an unprecedented economical tear, and I know many people are interested to learn how they might be able to buy property in Jamaica, move here, or even start a business. Enter Throp-X. This is my annual Jamaica investment conference hosted at Travelers Beach Resort in Negril, Jamaica. If you're even considering moving to or investing in Jamaica, this is the best low-risk opportunity to do your due diligence and network with the very people driving the country forward. This event brings together a group of hand-picked, trusted, top-of-their-field individuals, the best developers, contractors, real estate pros, lenders, and government partners, all under one roof to help you make your move. This is very much an action-focused premium conference experience geared towards empowering you with the tools and team necessary to create your Jamaica dream. We've partnered with the Tax Administration of Jamaica to help you get your TRN and even open a bank account, all conveniently located on conference property. One of the most popular parts of the conference is a real estate tour. It's the best way to understand Jamaica's real estate market, seeing and experiencing properties firsthand so you can compare apples to apples. Another incredibly valuable part of the conference is the people you will meet. Attendees have been some of the most dynamic, inspiring individuals I have met doing incredible things with their lives. As always, this year will be fun, educational, and actionable, giving you the tools, insights, and connections to invest, build, and move to Jamaica. For more information, please visit Throp-X.com and join our mailing list.